Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to Daily Devotions for Thursday, the 26th of September. I have a little update on the spider from yesterday, which I'll tell you about first before we get into any of the divination or anything or the chanting. But some of you might remember that yesterday a spider jumped onto my phone and was on my ring light and all over my phone while I was chatting. While I was chanting, I'm there, I'm talking, I'm doing the divination, we're chanting. And the whole time, this spider is up here with my phone. And I was a little nervous, of course. But at the same time, I was like, well, our divination yesterday said we've got to let go of control. So I'm not going to try to control the spider. I'm just going to be with the spider. And so I was with the spider. I was with the spider all day long. The spider yesterday came and jumped from my phone over to my computer. And during my readings all day yesterday, the spider was crawling around on my computer, so much to the point that when during two of my readings, the spider crawled across the camera and it turned my reading into a horror movie. It was too much. It went across, so legs and all, body and all. It looked like if you were in a movie theater and all of a sudden an enormous spider came out of the screen. That's what my readings looked like yesterday. So I feel that all things considered, and one of my clients, we had already had one or two little weird things happen, like glitches in the tech. And then when the spider crawled across, her exact words were, okay, all of this is haunted. I said, well, you know, I said, if anyone tries to tell you that I'm not a witch, you know what to say. So hilarity ensued with Cupio Dissolvi and the case of the uncontrollable spider yesterday. So now let's get into today. Let's see. Our divination deck for this month is the White Light Oracle by Alana Fairchild with art by, his name doesn't stick in my head the same way, A. Andrew Gonzalez. I love this deck. Think it's beautiful. Feel like it gives a lot of very esoteric and cool messages that aren't your sort of standard fare. So let's see what's today's message. And I work with this deck in the month of Magu, the Taoist Xian of health, longevity, well-being, peaches, hemp, and devotion. All right, let's see what's what. Our card for today is Alpha of Alcyone. Alpha of Alcyone. And I cannot possibly know what this means. So let's find out. Card 24. A positive twist of fate and a windfall of good fortune are destined for you. Brightness and hope will alleviate negativity and give you the strength to find your way through a time of adversity or challenge. Finally, you will experience peace, love, and deep connection with your true self and with the universe. Good things are on their way to you. Oh, the brightest star in the Pleiades star system, Alcyone, holds the frequency of love, the healing power of compassion, and the grace of mercy. In the myths of ancient Greece, Alcyone was so in love with her husband, Ceyx, that she referred to him as Zeus, and he referred to her as the divine wife of Zeus, Hera. Honestly, you would think they would know not to do this, but in the ancient world is just full of stories of the mortals getting themselves in trouble by comparing themselves to the gods without having been invited. Zeus was so irritated by the grandiosity that when Ceyx was at sea, he struck his ship with a lightning bolt. In her grief, Alcyone threw herself into the sea. Not finding the redemption, are you? I'm just not finding the redemption so far. Let's keep going. Moved by mercy, the gods transformed the lovers into kingfisher birds. These birds embody the spiritual medicine of abundance, love, prosperity, peace, and happiness, bringing blessings of hope and healing to humanity. Halcyon days take their name from this goddess turned kingfisher. They're the 7 days on either side of the shortest day of the year, the winter solstice. During this time, there's said to be no storms, only peaceful weather. Legend has it that the god of the winds calms all storms during this period so Alcyone can nest safely. And the term now symbolizes a period of luminous grace amidst a challenging time during which one can rest in tranquility. It's also an omen of more peaceful days of love and prosperity ahead. Alcyone is the goddess of grace and mercy, especially in the face of a heart wrenching loss. She reassures us that we will find a way through, and there is comfort for us when we need it, even if further work needs to be done before we can be fully released into our new era of happiness. When Alpha of Alcyone makes an appearance, we are near to the deepest, darkest phase of our suffering, and we can trust that we're already beginning to emerge on the other side. Alpha brain waves are deep, calming waves. They are what we experience when daydreaming or slipping into a peaceful relaxation or meditation. In the alpha state, imagination and intuition are heightened. As such, these brain waves are a gateway into the subconscious mind. The oracle of Alpha of Alcyone supports us in relaxing and reconnecting to optimism, even during tough times. In a relaxed state, we will realize that difficulties eventually come to an end and we are being provided for. This oracle brings guidance that a new reality of happiness is available to us even now as we steadily make our way to the light of a happy new start. I love to see this card. What a beautiful card. And what a fantastic message. I didn't know that about the halcyon days, that it was um, the days on the either side of the winter solstice. That's interesting. I always thought it was like halcyon days were like days of peace and plenty, but I didn't know about that. So today's divination is saying if you're in the trenches, if you're in the depths, keep going because there is something on the other side. You will find that there's a dawning. And it's not only because of, everything changes, which is true. Everything does change. Our challenges, the negativity, the difficulties we endure, the pain that we go through, all of that changes either way. But this card is actually saying, no, trust that you are being watched over. Trust that you are being guided, that there is a guiding star, a guiding light, some kind of a perfect essence that is watching over you. And you might have different names for that. You might give that the name of one of your ancestors. You might give that the name of a goddess or god. You might have a spirit guide. You might have all of these. But today, let's look for the signs that we are not alone. Let's look for the signs that say, yes, I'm here. I'm holding your hand during a difficult time. I'm here. I'm lighting objects, circumstances, pathways, and people up for you in such a way that you can't possibly misunderstand. And I'm laying it out for you because you are worthy and deserving. I think that is the message. Sometimes we might feel a little insecure about whether or not those beings that we believe in are actually there for us. I know that I have a healthy dose of skepticism about it. Sometimes I think, surely, if there was a merciful being, such and such things wouldn't be happening in the world, to me, to others. But that isn't how it is. Things happen, worldly things happen. And our otherworldly companions, guidance, systems, sources are there for us. Today, let's look for the proof. Let's look for the signs. Something placed in our path in such a way that says, I am here. That is the close of our divination. And now let's get into practice. We're going to start, as always, with 3 prostrations before the shrine. And let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from today's practice. And today I'm holding my sweet sister friend, Stephanie, the widow Burkell, who lost her beloved 5 years ago today. And let's recite the 4 immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. And our offerings. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering to Kuan Yin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Omahum. 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 Omahum, Omahum. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Kuan Yin, remain until the end of samsaric existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. 108 recitations of Namo Guanxin Pusa, calling out to Kuan Yin and asking her to point out to us the places in our lives where we are already receiving help, support, love from those beings, ancestors, guardians, and other guides who are there. They're already there. Namo Guanxin Pusa, 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 Namo Guan Shi Yin Pusa. 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 And a prayer for the money reciter of Kam by Gyaltse Tokme Zangpo. Lama dan kun shisum la chasa lo dakni changchut nimpur chike bar gong gong du kipa de dang der tadu tuje champo chizin ching kusum gewe chila chipar sho jamdang ninje champo kun lang ne tuje champo duljar panam lame changchut chola go pe chir tuje champo trin leje par sho. Homage to the Guru in 3 jewels. From now until I reach the essence of awakening, no matter where I may be reborn in those places, may I always follow the great compassionate one and dedicate my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Inspired by loving kindness and great compassion, in order to lead all Mahakarunika's followers to supreme and unsurpassable awakening, may I carry out the great compassionate one's activity. And this was written in response to a request from a Kampa money reciter, and the Dharma professing monk Tokme Zangpo wrote this in the Dharma fortress of Ngulchu. Lama dankun chisum la chasalo dakni changchut nipor chike bar gandang gandu kepa de dang der tadu tuje champo chetsin ching gusum gewe chila chapar sho jamdang ningje champo kunlang ne tuje champo duljar gepa nam lame changchut chola go pechir tuje champo trinle je par sho. And in fact, Kuan Yin did show me something where very recently I had evidence of divine protection just manifesting right in front of me in such a way that I couldn't possibly misunderstand it. "108 recitations now of Om Mani Padme Hum and sending out our energies to all who are in need. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lamadachin Yeshe Wangmo. Om Sosti. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Jungne and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of Supreme Bliss Yeshe Wangmo be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings, so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Kuan Yin in our hearts. Namo Guan Yin Pusa. And we close with a bow to Kuan Yin, a bow to one another, and a bow to the inner teacher. And wishing you a day of fantastic signs that show you that you are cared for. Be back tomorrow.